Shalom, Akim Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone. Peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect. Who is in this gospel, bro, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is titled, Could It Be a Cold and Dark Winter? Question mark. Well, according to Joe Beasy, I'd say so. Okay, because they've been hitting at a dark winter for the last year or two due to this event that took place in 2020 and the collapsing of the money system, which you brothers watched the short video I did last night and clicked on a link in the description. You would have seen that lady, that Edomite lady, that was going into that information about what she felt about this whole scandemic. Basically, she was going into how this whole ordeal was set up in order to bring about draconian legislation, which clearly that's the case, because ever since then they was talking about CBDCs, and what do you know, inflation is at what, 9% here, okay, soon to be over 18% in the UK. You see? So with that being said, man, they're talking about 4 million facing eviction within a couple of months, which a couple of months roughly puts us in October, November, right when it gets cold out, okay, because people are behind on their energy bills, people are behind on their rent, okay, people are behind on their mortgages, and the list goes on. And that's done systematically because Esau Edom, man, he wants you to bow down to the system. All right, and we've been speaking on this thing. We've been saying that these type of ordeals will take place, okay, because this devil is coming down with great wrath. But according to some guys, what we say don't happen. We're false prophets. But how can we be false prophets when you prophesy the same thing that we've been talking about? But now you just don't prophesy, man. So I don't understand that. And what have you said that came to pass outside of what we've been saying? You know, but I'll just leave it at that. I ain't got time for that madness. But regardless of that, you know, this dark winter, a lot of people are going to get evicted, which, you know, evictions occur all the time. But if you ever sign a lease and you pay attention to the clauses in the lease, you notice that the lease does not protect the tenant, but it protects the landlord, because it's basically a money grab, and you really have no rights when you rent these apartments. That's why it's such a tainted and perverse system, because no matter what, you're bounded by contracts, okay, whether it's a vehicle, whether it's a house, a mortgage, okay, whether it's a particular loan for a particular purchase you want, you're bound by some type of law. I mean, not a law, but you're bound by some type of contract that's oppressive. And technically, before you sign any contracts, according to this particular laws of the land, you really should have a representation. Like when you look at a lease, it tells you, it says you feel free to get legal representation, or you don't have to. If you sign it without legal representation, you waive that right. But technically, you're supposed to have legal representation when you sign in those particular gray area contracts, because they're not black and white, okay? Like we call it pig Latin, man. You see? But a lot of Jakes getting ready to get caught up in the loop, because I know the video and the article that the brother brought out yesterday, it stated that 2 out of 3 women will face hunger before the men. And that's spiritual, because 2/3 is a number that the nation of Israel, 2/3 of our people are going to be destroyed. Now, when you look at the 2/3 aspect ratio of hunger bitten, because men are going to go out here and they're going to fight. They're going to do what they have to do to survive, okay? They're going to do what they got to do to survive, versus women, they just going to pretty much depend on, you know, they're going to depend on somebody to come and save them, because that's the spirit of a woman, all right? But men, we got that primitive state. We going to go out where we going, like my man Deontay Wilder say, he say, look, I'm going to go out on my shield. So most men, they're going to get that courage back to go out there, and they're going to start hunting and purging, okay? Because that's in a man's nature anyway, versus what this society has bred upon the men, especially the men of our nation. It's going to be a dog-eat-dog world, okay? Rolling blackouts. You got down there in Mississippi, blackouts and floods, okay? No water. The water supply down there is contaminated, kind of like what's happening in the Flint situation. That water's been contaminated going on a decade now, you know, and yet they got the money to get them out of the rut, but they don't care because they're Jakes, you see, and that's coming to all 50 states eventually, or somewhat to that magnitude. But checking up, man, on the brothers. They're good down there. You know, they cool. You know, the Lord is taking care of them, as we know as we knew the Lord would take care of these men, because they've been out there doing the work. They've been out there diligent, you know, and the Lord has been sparing brothers. Okay, so with that being said, man, the rest of you people that's caught off guard by that flood, by those blackouts, those mass power outages, you're complacent now, because hey, it takes months, sometimes perhaps years to recover from that. You know, trying to file claims in civil court and, you know, insurance, which I was reading an insurance contract yesterday. A lawyer had sent me something in the mail a while back when I was trying to get representation a while back for the car thing. He basically said, man, as we know that these insurance companies are grimy, he called them the new kings. So these lawyers know what it is. They call insurance companies basically the new kings, okay? Which basically they have control over everything, because everything that you see from this road to these vehicles to these lights, everything has an insurance policy on it, because that's the way they collect money, okay? So in case they get destroyed, the premium that they pay is low compared to what you have to pay the consumer, and that's how they make their money. That's why they push insurance, which a lot of people, they can't afford nowadays, because insurance rates are out the roof. Unless you've been grandfathered in, or you know, you have a consistent history with a particular insurance company, then you're pretty much gonna pay high rates, man. Okay, unless you know you've been having good luck. But a lot of people, they can't afford insurance. A lot of people fall on hard times, unfortunate events take place, you know, and then it's hard to bounce back, because majority of the population got poor credit, man. Because that's how the system is set up, a credit-based system. Because they don't want you to own anything that's tangible, or tangible assets. Like when you look at a debit card is not really a tangible asset. Though you have a physical card, but the money is really just digital, because you don't see the cash in hand. Yeah, they may deduct it from your account, but it's numbers on a keyboard, it's numbers on a computer, on an algorithm. It's not really money in your account, because the minute you put money in the bank, they take it and they loan it out, and they fund the war and do whatever they got to do with it. That's why it takes you a week or two to get paid, because technically the money you work for, they already lent it out. You see how that works? And a lot of people fell on hard times because of it, man. Okay, like we said, 4 million facing an eviction after the eviction moratoriums expired. You know, so those of us that's still kind of doing all right, okay, that's kind of living, hey, brothers, count ourselves blessed right now, man, because honestly, you know, if you live in certain states, you might don't have it too good. You know, like you live in California, you may not have it too good, man, because out there, Cali is totally falling apart. Like they got something which is called the Great Migration, or the Great Exodus of California, where people are moving to places like, you know, Colorado, Montana, Missouri, Texas, and even people are fleeing from Texas to go to Mexico, because of the cost of living has gone up dramatically. So what happens once this, they call it Bidenflation, but what happens when this inflation continues to get out of hand? What happens from that point? Okay, things are gonna go up. Okay, like out there in the UK, people are neglecting paying power bills, you know, electric bills, energy bills, because they feel that it's overpriced. Because why should you have to pay an electric company just to consume electricity or some type of power or energy when you have power from the heavens, man? Okay, why do you need to pay for a gas service when the earth produces natural gases and oils? And these are questions that the average numbskull, they don't ask. They just go with the flow, because upon you a child, your parent always made your mother get up, you grow up and pay bills, is responsible, but never teaching you the entrepreneurial mindset. Okay, never teaching you to think for yourself, but they teach you to be subservient into this system. Make sure you get a job. That's the worst fucking advice. And we understand you gotta work. We're not knocking, you have to work. Scripture say by the sweat of your brow you should be labor. But overall, you know, they push working for somebody. And if they are pushing you getting your own business, they don't have the skills to teach you to develop the mindset on doing your own business, man, because a lot of skills takes development. Okay, yeah, you may have talents and so forth, but even among those talents, they have to be developed. And when you don't have anybody to teach you to develop the particular mindset, you're not going to be successful. You're basically going to be like a chicken with your head cut off out here. Because most of us jakes, basically, man, we just trial by error. It's trial by error. We don't know how this thing called life works, because we never lived it. And clearly we're not living it. Because, hey, by December, January, a lot of brothers could be facing eviction, man. Okay? A lot of us could be facing homelessness. because these jobs are getting out of whack. They're taking advantage of the employees. They feel like they can exploit the employees because they feel like everybody is falling on hard times. But me personally, I like to live off this shit, man. Me personally, if I can just be a pilgrim and move around and have my daily bread, I'll be cool with that. I will be cool and never have to punch a clock again. And that just being real, you know, because honestly, shit, I'd rather take my chance of survival before I live like a so-called free man, which we're not free. Well, free slave, okay? See a couple of precepts I know you brothers out there posted. And Shalom, Akim Yahabashim Yahushai, rock a thumb to y'all, man, you know? Shalom, sis. So this is the brother in the Quam 3. It says Ezekiel 7:5. It says, thus says the Lord Yahweh, and evil and only evil, behold, has come, right? And that evil is going to be in the form of JC, or Jacob's trouble, which this took place already. But you got to understand the scriptures are they're manifold. Okay, it goes into that in the Apocrypha that the scriptures have duality meaning for particular time frames, because we know that the end is not here yet. Okay, but the end of this current system, this current setup, is manifesting itself through the prophecies. Okay, through the MOTB, through the CBDCs, which we've been speaking on. Okay, the apostles have been speaking on these things for the longest, and they're coming to pass. But as some guys say, we're false prophets. Okay, the sink of great mill, the ship of the great millstone has sunk. Well, I beg to differ on that, bro. Okay, because if we sunk, then we wouldn't be out here as diligent and going hard. Because you make it seem like we speaking a bunch of empty words, and according to you, that's your opinion. Okay, because you let bitterness enter into your soul. Because honestly, you felt this way the whole time. And if you felt this way, why didn't you just walk away then before you allowed the bitterness to come into your heart? Okay, because clearly you had hope. And it's showing itself, you know. Now, I don't know the whole story about as far as that situation would happen with your camp. But whatever happened, you got excommunicated, and obviously you felt some type of way about it. Instead of you going to the brothers and rectifying it, which you may have, but you know, the spirit may have a different outcome. But regardless of that, you ain't got the right to be trying to lash out on brothers, man, because you disagree with the doctrine. Just say you disagree with the doctrine, okay? But don't try to knock the whole group, because hey, brothers are out here just trying to make it just like everybody else. All right, 2 Maccabees 1:28, punish them that oppress us and pride do us wrong. And hey, that's the so-called white man and 2/3 of our own people. Okay, 2/3 of these little jakes out here, they oppress us too, clearly. So we got enemies on all sides. We got rebellious jakes. Okay, we got Esau Edom, and we got so-called black woman. Okay, we got all the other nations. And we got all the people that's trying to come against the prophets. And it's always been that way. You see, but hey, like the scriptures say, that'd be more with us than with them. All right, so I'm going to end it on that note, man. Just pulling up to this place, man. But giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Doers in this gospel, bro, lifting up the standard of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, wherever they may be. And with that, Lord's will, you brothers and you few sisters out there that may watch, you are edified and continue to learn through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Shalom and a Baba Ball.